Hello and welcome to another episode of Transcontinental Overload. I'm Stephanie, your host, as usual, in Austin, Texas. I feel like I need to change up this introduction. I'm getting a bit bored of it now, but I'm not sure what else to say. Bavarian by birth, Texan by choice. Last week, I received a notification from my podcast provider, Buzzsprout, telling me that my podcast has had 3,500 downloads. I am so proud of this. I can't even tell you. And I have no idea whether that's good or average or poor. But to me, it sounds like a lot. And just knowing that so many people are listening to the episodes makes me very proud. So thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of work goes into creating a podcast. And so far, it's just been me doing it all, from doing my research and finding interesting guests and contacting them, unless they find me and contact me, so that happens too. But usually it's me doing all that and then trying to find a time and date, come up with questions for them, and setting the whole thing up, making sure everyone knows what technology to use, obviously then doing the recording, and then the most labor-intensive part, editing the episode. And then, of course, promoting the whole thing on social media. All me. It's been an amazing experience so far, and I love doing it. And I would love to do it more, actually. I would love to develop this podcast into something more, and I have a lot of ideas for projects. But for that, I would need to cut back on my other job, and so I would really need to be sponsored or just have some regular financial support. Otherwise, it's just not possible. It's just too time consuming. For the time being, you can actually already support me on Ko-fi, which is like a virtual tip jar. I've put the link in the show notes, and you can donate however much you like and however often you like. So that could literally be just a few dollars for a coffee from time to time. And that works for me for now, but I'm looking into doing something else. Anyway, that was a little bit of housekeeping. Your fancy schmancy podcast word for today. And what I actually love the most about doing this podcast is, I mean, obviously I love having lots of subscribers and downloads, but it's been just so good to connect with people. And even if it's just online, really, at the moment, especially this last year, but it's just been really fun. And I got to meet people that I would never have met otherwise. And I just love getting a little glimpse into people's lives and sometimes lifestyles that I have no idea about. Today's guest is such an example. Brigitta is from Hungary, and her husband is a member of the US Army. He's not a soldier anymore. He's in diplomatic services, but it's definitely an environment that I have no connection with and no idea what life is like in an organization like that, where you get sent on assignments, you don't really have a choice, and then you commit yourself for 2 years or longer, and you have to keep moving around. Brigitta and I had a really lovely conversation, and without further ado, here is her story. Hi Brigitta, welcome to Transcontinental Overload.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Have you done a podcast before?
Yes, but I did it in Hungarian.
Okay.
So that's my first English.
That's great. I just did my first German one the other day. And it was so strange.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I think you mentioned it in the podcast.
And I feel like I was talking so fast, and at the end I was like, oh my God, that was a little bit different to my usual talking speed. But well.
You did mention in that podcast about language and how your accent is changing.
Mm-hmm.
I did find an article, which I'm going to share with you. And it made me think also, because I was so proud, and from my story you will hear, I mean, I was 18 when I left Hungary. I didn't speak a word of English.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved to Canada to learn English, and I had no accent, and everybody was, oh, you were born here. Nothing. And now You
Mhm.
can hear it. I do have a heavy accent. And I was devastated. Why? Why is this happening? I always was so proud with no accent. And why are we ashamed if we do have an accent? And
Yes.
I was talking to my friend, and she said, you know, she thinks the reason I didn't have an accent before because it was a new country. I wanted to fit in. I was young, and
Yes.
this was the best way. And now I'm so relaxed. I accepted myself the way I am. I'm
Mhm.
proud to be Hungarian born, and now my accent is coming out. Do you think
So
that's
first of all,
some?
your accent is not heavy at all. But I think that's very true. That so the age definitely has something to do with it. When you're younger, it just seems to be more. It feels like it's more important to fit in
Yes,
and not stand out, not kind of show. Yeah, just not be different. And also, it's a lot easier to acquire a more authentic accent. I think when you're younger.
yeah,
I've decided to just, yeah, be more relaxed, like you said.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining, Brigitta. I'm really excited also because sometimes, or in most cases, I know a little bit about my guest in advance, and or I've met them before. And in your case, I don't know anything. So I'm really excited to hear your story. Welcome to Transcontinental Overload.
Thank you so much for the invitation. And I've been listening to your podcast for a while, and I some guests you have, I can really relate to the issues or stories they tell.
Hmm.
Not too long ago, you had a lady on. Her name was Carol, and
Hmm.
I felt there was a lot of things brought back lots of memories when she was talking about her story. So I'm really excited to be here, and thank you.
I'm so happy to hear it, and also that's exactly why I'm doing the podcast. It's to share those stories and to have other people go, "Oh my God, I'm not alone." I love podcasts anyway, and because you learn so much, and it's entertaining and informative, and like yeah, especially this last year where we
Yeah.
haven't been able to go out and meet a lot of new people. It's been really nice to make all those connections. So I feel like I have people all over the world, and it's really nice. So now I have someone in Hungary. So tell us your story.
Yeah, so I was born in Hungary, and I left when I was 18. I wanted to learn English, and I had an opportunity to move. So I just went straight all the way to Canada, and I was a nanny for 3 years, and then just learning English with the family, with the kids.
Where did you
And
go
then
in Canada?
first I was in Toronto.
Hmm.
There's a baby. She was, I think she was 6 months old, and she was so cute. She didn't really, didn't speak, so it was no matter that I didn't speak English. And I used to speak German actually. I went to German kindergarten, so the parents did speak. I think the mom was Irish
Hmm.
and the dad was Scottish, so we spoke German until I was able to speak English. And so I spent about 9 months there, and then I went to Calgary. And there was two boys I was babysitting, and they were 2 and 5,
Hmm.
and I stayed with them for two more years. And then I got my papers because I was on the working visa. So they had a rule that you're only allowed to work within the restriction of your visa. So
Hmm.
since I went there as a nanny, I was not able to do anything else. And then once this time expired or extended, then I was able to do other things. So I worked for different companies. And then something happened personal. My mom, she ended up in a hospital, and I decided to move back to, after
Yeah.
7 years, I moved back to Hungary.
Wow. So you were in Canada for 7 years.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Yes,
Sounds like it. Yeah.
yes, yes. I made lots of friends, and yeah, I love
Hmm.
Canada. It's a beautiful
What was
country.
your favorite place?
My favorite place, it's close to Calgary. It's
Hmm.
called Banff, and it's a short drive in Canadian distance,
Yeah.
not European distance.
Yeah. Okay. So having family issues, and I mean this is a big topic for any expat, especially when it's such a big distance. So that can't have been an easy decision, but also, you know, that's obviously what you're going to do. So you moved back to Hungary after 7 years.
Yes, yes. I moved back, and I wasn't sure if I'm gonna go ever go back to Canada. I
Hmm.
left the doors open, but I don't have any brothers or sisters, so yeah, I felt the need that I need to be beside my mom.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then it turned out. Then I stayed, and I worked for several like multinational companies, and then a little bit later on, I met my current husband, and here I think we're coming to the story of how we met,
Hmm.
and it's an interesting story because well, while I was in Canada, I did receive Canadian citizenship,
Hmm.
so I joined the Canadian Embassy warden program in Hungary. So they had functions every year that we were invited to. So while I was in
That's
Hungary,
like a way to keep the connection with Canada.
yes,
And to because it's that by that point, I guess it had become so much part of your life and who you were, your identity. I mean, the nationality and getting citizenship is that's a big step, and it's kind of it's a sign that yeah, you open, you're not just one nationality anymore. It's part of who you are.
yes. So I was invited. It's like the 4th of July. It's Canada Day, which is
Hmm.
July 1st every year. And so several years I was invited to these parties, and they were always like it's like a barbecue at the residence. They serve food. It's very laid back, casual event. And this year, for some reason, I got the invitation from somebody else, and it wasn't the barbecue that I was invited to. So I, for a long time, I was saying this was in the stars that we met, because for years I went to these events, and yeah, I haven't met anyone, and it was a different atmosphere. So this time I got the invitation. I show up. I haven't gone inside because I got to the door and I saw everybody in uniforms, and they had a brass band playing, and there was no casual atmosphere. It was really like official. So I was standing at the door, still outside on the street, undecided that, oh, I'm holding my invitation. Why should I go in? I have the invitation, but it just looks so different than it usually is.
Were you dressed up for like
Not
a
for, not for that occasion. I was dressed casual, exactly, just like every year.
yeah.
So I'm holding the invitation. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I did get the invitation. So I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not going to ruin the party. I am invited, but I just didn't know why. So I'm standing at the door, and then I saw from behind a couple of gentlemen or guys coming in uniforms. So I look at them, uh, and I had this thought. I don't know, maybe I watched too many romantic movies. I'm not sure. So when they got close to me, I started walking up towards the door with them. And the lady, there was a book that it's a welcome book. You sign in as a guest.
Hmm.
And so the lady standing there, she thought that I was waiting for them. That's why I was standing at the door and not going in.
Hmm.
So she turns to me and she says, "Are you together?" And I don't know what happened. I looked at now my husband and said, "Yes, we are." And that's it. And beside, he's looking at me. He had no idea why I said that. And then so we just walked in.
But
And then
he didn't say, no, this lady is crazy. Don't let her in. Uh,
no, no, he was surprised also. And then to be honest, I've been thinking about this moment for a long time, and
mhm,
I don't remember the reaction on the other guys
mhm.
who they come with, but no. And so we went inside, and they usually had like a tray with champagne, like welcome drinks, and I just really felt the need to have one because I was so embarrassed. And then so I had the champagne, and then I went inside and looked around, and I looked for my husband.
I love how you
Yes.
say that. But at that point, I mean, I mean, you say you can't really remember what made you do it and all that, but there must have been some kind of, so had he looked at you, or was it just you just kind of, it was split seconds decision?
Yes, I think it was split seconds. She asked me a question, and
Mhm.
I think the thought I had is, if I don't say something to prove that I
Then
belong here, they're not
yeah,
gonna let me in, even if I have
yeah.
the invitation. So yeah, and I really don't know where this came from, but I just said yes.
And
I know.
so when you came in, he didn't like turn to you and say, what was this about? Who are you? And so just
No, I think he was still surprised. And then, so after the
mhm.
champagne, I had the guts to go over and apologize that I am so sorry. I never done anything like this before. I have no idea why I said that, but I just felt the need. I had to say
Mhm.
something otherwise. And he
Mhm.
was joking all night, and he said, "Yeah, I'm sure you just wanted to ruin our party." And so, yeah. And then, so we started talking, and then that's the rest is history.
Sometimes it just shows that sometimes you just have to go with your, yeah, I don't know, instinct, whatever it is, to just jump in. That's funny. So then you kind of knew during the course of the evening that there was a spark, and yeah, and then what happened?
Then we went out for a couple of dates, and had a really nice time, and
Hmm.
started to get to know each other. And unfortunately, a year after this happened, or year after we met, he got another assignment.
Hmm.
Uh,
So was
in
he stationed? Where are we right now? Is it? Are we in Budapest, or where is
Yes,
it? Where
yes,
was the?
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, here in Budapest. Yes,
okay,
and he worked for the U.S. Embassy there,
okay.
and yes, and
Oh,
he
so
got.
not even the Canadian, so it was the US embassy and
Yes, because the event I got the invitation, it turned out at the end it was the official celebration of every embassy member
okay.
was invited to this function, which it turned out he went every year before also, but
Uh-huh.
for the official event. And the reason we never met before, because it's in 2 different days, and
Yeah.
I was invited to the barbecue, the casual one with families and kids,
Hmm.
and that year
And that was
I
different.
ended up going to the official event. Yes.
Crazy. So it could have just have been the same as every year, and it wouldn't have been any different. Oh, wow. So you
Yes.
had a year together, and then
Yes. Yes. We had a year together, and then we had to make a decision.
mhm.
And then and then I ended up I joined him on his next journey, and our first post was in Manila in the Philippines.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a bit of a difference. And so how long were you there?
We were there for 3 years.
Hmm.
We were there for 3 years.
So
Yes.
at what point did you get married?
Um, he proposed a little bit shorter after I arrived, about 6 months, and that's another interesting story,
Go for it.
if I may say, because so before I arrived, so he left earlier than me, and I think he left in May, and I arrived in December
Hmm.
or so, and um, uh, everyone he knew, his colleagues, he already said that I'm his fiance, and I didn't know about it.
But so let's go back. So I'm not familiar with
Yes,
US Army regulations. So do you have to be married in order to accompany your partner on an
yes,
assignment?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. So he was actually in the Air Force. So yes, we legally we also needed to get married for me to be able to join him on
Hmm.
his tours. Yes, yes, right. But it didn't happen before I left Hungary.
Hmm.
So he wanted to propose. We wanted to go out, and we were just downstairs, just about to leave, and we heard this really funny noise in the kitchen. And then we looked, and uh, the fridge started smoking. It made this
Oh.
really really weird sound and exploded. It was
Oh
like
my God.
smoke coming out just before we wanted to leave. So it kind of threw off everything because, that's not was the plan. So we stayed inside. We had to get somebody like an
Oh
emergency.
no.
It
Yeah.
was in the
Yeah.
evening, and then to
Instead
take
of
care of
going
that.
out to
But yes, 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 yes. But yeah, so that was a night, and then we ended up just ordering, I think, some Chinese food or something. And then he proposed, and I was over the moon. So, and then the next year we had a couple of months after, and then we planned. It was a very small wedding, since it was far away from our families,
So
and
that
it
was
was,
in Manila.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, we flew down to one of the islands. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Boracay, and that's we just went to one of the hotels, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, here comes another funny story. Because to organize the wedding, I mean, I didn't know anything locally, but this hotel said that if you have your wedding here, we organize everything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about it. So we flew down there, and I didn't even think of checking. I gave total authority to this lady to do anything she wanted. I just got a dress made, and we flew down. And well, since there was no family, we asked actually two couples, friends. One
Mm-hmm.
was a family that my husband worked with, and they came down when they had really cute little kids, and the little boy was holding the ring, and
Oh yeah.
nice, beautiful, beautiful beach wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend. She came with her husband, and so they were my witness, and the
Mm-hmm.
other family was my husband's witness. And so we arrived the day before, and I went to the reception and said, "Okay, can I talk to a lady who organized, just to I know how it should go,
Mm-hmm.
where I should be, where do I get ready? I mean, just things like that." And she said, "Yeah, no problem." So she tells me everything, and I said, "Okay, great. So it's gonna be a Catholic wedding. We're both Catholic." Because there was a form I filled out, and
Mm-hmm.
the lady's like, "Oh no." She ordered. I'm not sure, but it turned out that she said the priest is not a Catholic priest, and we cannot have Catholic wedding. And it was one day before. I'm like, and then what are we gonna do? And being in the countryside, the Philippines, this was in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
We got a big yellow phone book, yellow pages, and we went through
Is
people.
there a
She went,
Catholic priest in the
she went,
vicinity? Oh my God.
she
I
went
guess
through. Yeah, she
just a
went.
minor detail, but it's only a wedding. Oh no.
Well, we did find one, and he showed up the next day, and
Wow.
so we had a nice, and yeah, we just laughed through the whole. I mean, it was really really relaxing,
Yeah.
and I never had a dream to have like a big huge wedding because I didn't want to worry about. Know myself, I would be worried about everybody has a good
Mhm.
time, everybody
That actually
arrives.
sounds like the dream wedding.
Yeah, I really recommend that if you want a stress-free wedding, just
Yeah.
go somewhere and
Yeah.
you don't have
Oh,
to.
but that's funny finding your priest in the yellow pages. Yeah, why not? So then you got married, and then obviously that was, and then you had another, what, 2 years in Manila?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then we moved back to the U.S., and that was just one short year.
Mm-hmm.
And
Where in the US did you go?
we went to D.C. because my husband left the Air Force, and he
Mm-hmm.
joined the Foreign Service.
Okay.
So right now he works for the Foreign Service, and he was just kind of checking out and
Mm-hmm.
transitioning. So we live just outside of D.C.
Mm-hmm.
So
What was that like?
it was another culture shock after living in Asia for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think compared to Canada, it was too busy for me, too big of a city.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it was okay. We knew it was just temporary, so
Mm-hmm.
so it was fine. And luckily, I did speak the language.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely that helps. And also I think, I mean, obviously in that environment, being in the army, you know that you will be moving constantly, at least for a certain period of time. So I guess it's different when you go somewhere and you just know that you're going to be moving along, and it's not like you have to find your forever place and put down roots, um, especially at that point. So then after the year in DC, where did you go next?
Yes, then we went to Bahrain in the Middle East. That was our first assignment, and I fell in love with that country, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. That was for 2 years,
Hmm.
and there I was able to work as office manager for a local oil company. Actually, it was a Saudi oil company, but they had office also in Bahrain, and made friends. And yeah, it was a really really nice assignment. And the next one after wasn't so happy. It was in Russia, St. Petersburg. Totally the opposite. From really extreme hot, we moved to extreme cold.
Wow. And a very different culture yet again.
Yes.
But I mean, it sounds amazing. It's like you're covering all these different parts of the world and cultures. I'll let you carry on because that's fascinating.
It was a definite change. I mean, I did speak growing up in Hungary.
Hmm.
Um, I did had to learn English. I'm sorry, Russian in
Hmm.
school,
Yeah.
and nothing came back. I hate to admit, but it did not come back. I mean, basic words, and I took some classes, and I
Hmm.
really really tried because, to be honest, the locals refused to speak English. Even if they did, they didn't want to speak English. So it was a little bit disappointing. Even in the
That's yeah,
restaurants, the menus
really.
were only in Russian.
Mm-hmm.
So your best friend was your Google Translate on your phone.
Hmm. Hmm.
And actually, I have a story to this. About 6 months after we moved, I had a little breakdown in the restaurant because it was just really hard to not be able to be with locals.
Yeah.
No friends. It's always snowing or raining. I mean, the weather is horrible.
Wow. Yeah.
And and go into and the only thing we would do, we go to museums or we would go to a restaurant, and yeah, not be able to read the menu. I don't know. That day, it really got to me, and I said, oh my gosh, why are we doing this?
Yeah. And then, so did you know at that point how long you were going to be there?
It was 2 years.
So
It was a
so
2 year.
you knew that, but yeah, 2 years, I guess, can appear very long when you feel
Yeah.
like you're not integrating. And the language, I mean, languages are such a big part of the whole expat journey, I think. And I mean, as you said, coming from a Central European country, you were brought up with several languages, so that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was really, as I say, it was a really strange experience because
Mhm.
um, in each country we moved to, I tried to join the local women's club,
Yeah,
and then just to have a little bit of insanity, go get away from insanity.
yeah.
And in Russia, what I noticed that every culture they would just stick to their own. And other countries, like in Manila, when we were, I did find friends. I had a really nice, like a Canadian lady, actually. She became a really good friend of mine. And the other countries, we were just like
Hmm.
mingling,
Hmm.
and it was nice to see them once a month and go out for lunch or coffee. And in Russia, there were no Hungarians in the group, and there was a couple of Spanish speaking ladies. They stick together. There were some
Hmm.
Germans. They stick together. And and that was it. And I tried to join like a photo club or
Hmm.
like anything that it would even give me things to do, and I was not
Hmm.
able to work. And um and it was really hard. And yeah,
Yeah, so you
just
must have been glad when the 2 years came to an end. I think with moving around that much, there's always the low points and the favorite places, and I mean, it's an amazing experience, I suppose, to be experience to have all these countries under your belt and to be able to say, yeah, I've lived there. But yeah, I guess there have to be the the not so good ones. And then after Russia, what came next?
Yes, then came Slovenia. So we're in Slovenia right now and just ending up our 3 year tour. And yeah, this is a lovely country. We really enjoyed.
I have never been, and I know so many people who have been and absolutely love it and say it flies under the radar. Not people don't think about Slovenia as a place to go.
Yeah, it's really everybody speaks English here
Hmm.
compared to the other country we mentioned, and really friendly. I mean, it's a very small town. We live in the capital, and it's just really. I mean, the air is beautiful, clean. You have lakes and you have mountains, and
That must bring back memories from Canada in some
yes,
ways.
it is. It is because I look outside and I see, in
Yeah,
Canada, I see the Rocky Mountains, and here I see the Alps,
yeah.
and the snow exactly on the top. Like even
Mhm.
today, it's nice and 25 degrees and sunny. And I went for a walk and I saw the
Yeah.
mountains, the
Oh,
snow on top.
beautiful. Yeah, that sounds really nice. But you
Yeah.
said you're coming to an end now in Slovenia.
Yes. Yes. We're coming to an end, unfortunately, and we have a little bit of new challenge coming up again because my we decided to take or accept an unaccompanied post where my husband will go for 2 years, and I made a decision to just move back to Hungary. We have a dog; he's 11, so I the easiest option was for me to just move back to Hungary since
Hmm.
I will overcome basic challenges that I would have in another country, which I
Hmm.
speak the language and
Yeah,
I have
absolutely
friends and I
understand.
have
Hmm.
family. So at this point, I think I just need calm and not too many challenges at the moment. And so I'll be in Hungary for the next few years before I'll join my husband again. And then we already know we are able to go back to Bahrain, which I mentioned earlier how much I was in love with.
Hmm.
And as a bonus, since we're taking this hardship tour of being separated for a
Yeah.
while,
And how often do you think you'll be seeing him in that time?
I believe it depends on the situation in the world right now. But in theory, every 3 months we'll be able to take some time off
Hmm.
and meet. So I think that's
So it must be reassuring for him though also to know that you're going back to Hungary and you're not going to be alone in a new place and you're surrounded by people. And I guess I mean so he lived in Hungary with for a while too. So it's a place that you both familiar with and it kind of is a little bit of home in this transient lifestyle.
yeah.
Sounds like a couple of tough years coming up, but also kind of nice for you to reconnect with your home country. And Slovenia, I guess, is just not that far away. You could visit.
Yeah, it's only a few hours.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
yeah.
only a few hours.
So, well, I don't need to ask you what your favorite place was because I guess Bahrain um, wins that one. So that must be nice to have that to look forward to 2 years down the line. And then do you already know how long you're going to be there?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel really really fortunate that
Mhm.
we be able to move back, and I made good friends when I was there, and we're still in touch,
Mhm.
and just so many things
Yeah.
we did together. I learned how to make mosaics, and we did yoga, and just really really nice. And my friend was saying. Because I was a little bit, it's now I'm in kind of a roller coaster. I'm sad that I'm leaving here. I'm okay going back to Hungary now, but it makes me a little bit sad, of course, that I'm going to be alone. And then my friend said, but just look at the way that you are one step every day, you are one step closer moving back to Bahrain. And since
Yeah.
then, I said that, I'm like, what a great way to look at it.
Hmm.
And every day I really think about this. I'm one step closer to moving back to Bahrain.
Yeah.
So, and it's only temporarily and it shall pass.
But I also think you probably over the years got used to that kind of life, because I think it's not for everyone. And I mean, when you met your husband, did you did you expect what it was going to be like moving from place to place every few years?
No, I had no idea. And this is where it comes in when I was mentioning Carol in your previous episode,
Hmm.
saying that uh, she met her husband and she moved to a new country, and then you have to get used to, like, just like I had a culture shock in Manila. I never been to Asia before. I moved in with my husband, which I we were together 1 year dating, but not really living together,
Yeah.
not speaking the local language. So I had no idea. And also that moving every 3 years or 2 to 3 years, how it could take a toll on you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, starting a new relationship with all these extra challenges thrown in, I can't even imagine. That it sounds very stressful, but then again, that's your relationship, and that's how you evolved. So, do you think, like, if at some point you'll be planted in one place and that's it, do you feel like you'll both be like, oh, what do we do now? Because I imagine that would be really strange.
Yes, sometimes we think about it. Where should we retire? Where should we go? And we haven't got to a place yet.
Yeah, and you've really obviously embraced that life. Yeah, as I said before, not everyone would or could, I suppose.
I try to make always, yeah, the best, and
Hmm.
arrive everywhere with open hearts and open eyes and open ears,
Yeah.
and kind of go with the flow. I mean, you can fight it, but then it's just really really difficult.
Hmm.
So I would encourage everyone who has the opportunity, or when you meet someone from another country, just give yourself that chance to try it and then see, and just, yeah, go with the flow, and just, you never know, wonderful things can happen.
Yeah. So what have been the biggest challenges in during that time?
um The biggest challenge, which I haven't mentioned, when I met my husband, I was already a mom to a wonderful son. He's already grown up now, but we had to make a decision where he's going to go while we're moving, and he decided to go to Germany. His father lives in Germany, and it was going to be a year what he spends in Germany, and then decide which country he will come and follow us.
Hmm.
And so he was in Munich, and the biggest challenge was to make a decision to
How old was he when you went on your
yes,
first assignment?
yes, he was 11. He was 11, and then he moved to Germany,
Okay.
and yeah, and stayed with his dad. And unfortunate, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but at the end, what happened is, because the reason I said it, because this was not the plan, but
Hmm.
he really enjoyed being in Germany, and he made friends and really enjoy his life. So at the end, he decided not to
Yeah.
come and travel with us, because he said it's just too much of a burden to move every 2 3 years. And everywhere we came, everywhere we lived, he came and visited, and every
Yes.
time we were asking, would you like to come, would you like to stay? And and he, and I know he's such a sweetheart, and never ever wanted to hurt my feelings, and he never ever, but he always said, Mom, I'm so sorry, no, I'm staying in Germany, I love it there. And now he's in university,
Yeah.
and studying mathematics,
Hmm.
and I'm just so proud of him,
Yeah, but that
so.
I can't even, I mean, that must have been so hard for you to let him go. I think, I mean, that's what we do as parents, right? We think about what's best for them, and moving is so hard on kids. It's hard on us, but it's so hard on kids, and especially when, that age, I think, 11, and then all those years, the teenage years. It's so That's amazing to be able to say, we have to have you in a place where you want to be. That's wonderful. But yes, I can't even imagine what that must have been like for you, or still is. Um, but I love that he came to visit you at every stage of where you were. And I think that's also so important to, it's one of the biggest pleasures, isn't it, when you live somewhere, to have people come and visit and see where you are and what your life looks like. I think it's so important to share that. So that's lovely to be able to do that with
Yes,
him.
and I'm happy also that I
Yeah.
was able to show it to him. And you know, he was like 12 when we were in Manila, and
Hmm.
he never seen. So he got a different perspective of the world. Like I
Yeah.
remember when we were driving in traffic. Whoever was in Asia before knows how traffic, or especially in Manila, how horrible the traffic is. And and I remember we were sitting in the car, and he would see people hanging off the bus because there's so many people, you know, and the door could not be closed, and he was like going like this and saying, "Oh my gosh, mom, they're gonna fall out." So
Yeah. Amazing to be able to give him that opportunity. But yeah. Oh, my heart is aching for you. But yes, that's I mean, sounds like you found a really good solution, and it sounds like you're really close still.
yes,
So
yes, and he's coming to Hungary now, and I'm very excited, and we're gonna spend some
mhm,
time together. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy that right now we're close,
Hmm.
and we have a
Yeah.
chance to.
Perfect. In your relationship with your husband, obviously, yeah, you said it's like moving, getting together, and then moving, getting married, and then moving to a completely different culture right away, and having, all these, everything's new, relationship, country, everything. Do you feel like you're stronger for it because it was such a tumultuous beginning?
I think I am stronger. I mean, definitely you need to work on it. It's because moving and living in a different country, it's putting stress on you, on your relationship. Each country and each year, or I mean, yeah, each year when you move, it gives different challenges. So then you need to overcome. But if you think as a team, or you work as a team,
Mhm.
and bring it together, then I think it's solvable. It's
Can you
gonna.
think of can you think of any like funny stories or things where you were like, I just don't get him? Because obviously, he's an American, been brought up in a very different culture to you. Were there any things that were really surprising to you?
The one thing comes to mind: the jokes, how he watches sitcoms, and I cannot laugh at the jokes because I didn't grow up with those jokes. And he tries so hard. He's like, "How come you don't laugh? How come you don't think it's funny?" And I said, "I'm sorry, it is not." And then he tells me I'm not funny. Then I listen to something in Hungarian, and I just laugh and just laugh, and like, see, I can laugh, but it's a different yeah,
What
different
different humor? Yeah,
yeah.
just completely different sensibilities. But um can you think of any particular like sitcom that he watched that he liked and you just didn't get?
Oh, like I don't like when they have the audience and then it laughs, because to me it's just so
Oh, the
fake.
canned laughter. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes. And it's like I don't like fake stuff. I don't like Instagram. I don't, maybe the people would hate
I
me.
quite like it. I mean, I kind of take it with a pinch of salt. But yeah, that whole shallow versus deep thing is so ingrained in us
It
Europeans,
is.
and it really annoys me sometimes how people just cling to that.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
always wonder what it's like for Americans when when they come to Europe and they're greeted with this whole, oh, you're so shallow, you Americans.
Yeah.
And I it feels so different to me now that I've lived in this country for such a long time. And to me, it's just too simple to say shallow versus deep. It's not true at all. But how was that for your husband? What did he think? I mean, you said earlier, it's like, yeah, you Hungarian, you don't have a sense of humor, but was that really strange for him?
Yes, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting you bring it up, but because when we move, actually. now that I'm thinking about it, it was one of the things that I liked about him when we met. That not that he's shallow, that he is relaxed.
Hmm.
He's not taking things so seriously, not taking things so hard to the heart. Like in Hungarian, you would say something like you could chop wood on his back. I don't know if it comes across as good as a translation, but you would say something like
Hmm.
this to someone who's
Yeah.
really, really calm and patient, and I just love that about him. And not just loved it, I still love it because he's still like that.
Yeah.
And I'm more worried. I'm more in depth of go more into details. And this comes back also for friendship, since um, we can go back to challenges. Like every year when I move, I try to create my own community. I try to make friends, and it takes a lot of effort.
Hmm.
And as you say, yeah, national, different cultures. I notice also, like some cultures are just, yeah, they just want to say hi, bye. They're not really interested in like in-depth friendships, also because they know, oh, we're moving in 2 3 years again, why? And I do not never ever understand this, because then you can have a great friendship, you can have so many nice memories in that time, 2 years 3 years, who cares? But
Hmm.
you make friends. And some people just don't like to take the effort of
Hmm.
going down and making friends, because but friendship has always been important to me. And
Yes. And even if they're not forever, even if they're just, people, but I don't know. I think good friendships, they pop up along the way, even if you don't have that much time together. If there's a connection, you'll have the connection. And if you're really lucky, they'll be there always.
yes.
I never understand the people who just like shut themselves off completely.
And also a big lessons I learned is that we are all different. I mean, I grew up that I don't know why I was thinking everybody's thinking always the same that I do, and if I'm open and honest with someone, then they will do the same. And then I was surprised when something different happened.
Hmm.
And but yeah, I guess as long as we accept them to be they are, and accept if they don't want to be our friends, or
Hmm.
they don't want to, yeah, then it's
Yeah.
okay. It's
Yeah.
okay too. I mean,
Have you kept some of the friendships that you've made over the years, like in the
yes,
different countries?
yes. Even from Canada, I have friends we're still in touch,
Hmm.
and yeah, every country I would say, yeah, I have.
Isn't that an amazing thing to be able to say? Yeah, I love that. That's really, really nice. Well, it's been really lovely talking to you.
Yes,
What a
here.
story. And it's still, I mean, you're still going to be traveling. You're still going to be moving to other places. And well, I wish you all the best for the next couple of years to um yeah, see you're another hour closer to being in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always like to finish my episodes with a little kind of more humorous question. If obviously you've changed in your relationship, and with someone from another country, you always take on things from their culture, they take on things from your culture. What if I asked your husband now, what would he say is the most American thing about you? How
Yeah.
American have you become in your relationship?
Yes. uh, I don't know how funny I would think, but if we would ask him, he would really say this. Because when we met, and as a European, grown up in Europe, that we always dress up. We put heels on, skirts, nice blouse, and accessories. And now I wear sweatpants and jeans and t-shirts and flats. I do not dress up anymore. I'm comfortable and casual.
Which he kind of knew when he first met you, and you were not dressed up for that event.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. It was really lovely.
Oh, what a lovely story that was, and what a lovely woman. I really enjoyed my chat with Brigitta. She has such a warm, open personality and was so easy to talk to. it always amazes me how you can have a really deep, heartfelt conversation with someone you've never met before. It's amazing. And yeah, you do that by sharing things, sharing stories. So if this story resonates with you, maybe you're an army spouse or you're about to embark on this lifestyle and you just need someone to give you some encouragement or just someone to connect with, someone who knows what it's like, then yeah, get in touch with Brigitta. She is on Facebook, and that's where you can also find her business, Briggy's Virtual Solutions. It's a virtual assistant business which she founded as a location independent source of income. And I will put all the links in the show notes. And that's it from me for today. Stay safe out there, especially when traveling, as I'm hoping a lot of you will be over the next few weeks. See you next time.